Cup 2011.
एब्सोल्युटली नवीन जी दूसरा मुद्दा ये है कि मेरे हिसाब से जो बड़े भाई है क्रिकेट के, जैसे इंडिया है, पाकिस्तान है, वेस्ट इंडीज, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, श्रीलंका है, इनके ऊपर एक ओनस बनता है कि जब वो इतने अच्छे क्रिकेट खेलते हैं, रेगुलर टीम्स यूएस जाने चाहिए।
बिल्कुल मिलन जी आप सही बोल रहे हैं, आप सही बोल रहे हैं। हाँ, इस मुद्दे पर मैं अभी आता हूँ। मैं पहले इस बात को कह रहा था कि मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि अगर यूएस इसमें आता तो क्या ग्लैमर होता। मैं दीपक जी से पूछना चाहूंगा कि दीपक, डू यू थिंक इफ अमेरिका वुड बी इन्वॉल्व्ड एट अ बिग लेवल इन क्रिकेट कुड टच ए न्यू हाइट, ग्लैमर और इंटरेस्ट?
Well, whatever I have seen during my travels in US, my impression is that most of the people are basically not knowing about cricket, but whosoever knows are basically expatriates, Indians or Pakistanis, and some of these Britishers who have settled down. Recently, my friend Milan just said that David Navin and all, these were all ex-Britishers, who settled down in US. So my impression is that they would love to play in the shorter form of the game, T20s or 50s, but I don't think US can make much of an impact in the test cricket side because they don't have the kind of an infrastructure that they need. And the second thing is, if they were to be here, unless and until they had some real caliber players, I don't think you can add to the glamour, because I think right now also they've added 14 teams to this World Cup. But, couple of teams like Canada and
Kenya,
the others are, they're just washouts, so it's basically making mockery of cricket. So I would say that when you have World Cup, you should have the best teams competing, and if America is good, and I don't know the reasons why they were relegated, and I don't want to get into that, because as Milan said, most of the associations around the world are fighting, and there is a lot of infighting from football.
But Deepak, there is a qualifier for all of this. There is a qualifier. The ICC event in the tournament is a qualifier. So if the US team doesn't qualify, then that's how they didn't make it. Canada did, so they made it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So if they were not good enough, I don't think they could do anything. But if they were good enough, they would have been here.
Okay, so
exactly.
Right here, I would like to ask Mr. Mahmood ji se पूछना चाहूँगा, what is the status of cricket in US? Where is cricket in US, Mahmood Saab?
Oh, right now, we can say, as one of the commentators mentioned over here, that we do have infighting, which is very right, that the East and the West are fighting over who's the best and whose players should be representing the country. But having said that, if you guys remember a few years ago when the World Cup was in England, we did qualify and we did good. And again, going back to cricket in Southern California, it is blooming. It is blooming to such extent that we are having shortage of fields over here. And yes, I do remember the name Jimmy Kolabawala, and if you remember Neil Lashkari and Ronnie Irani, these are all part of Hollywood Cricket Club, which has now about 3 or 4 teams within their clubs. They have 5 divisions. Believe it or not, in Southern California itself, we have 5 divisions. In each division, about 10 teams. In some divisions, there are 16 teams. So this cricket is blooming. And this is not the only league. The league I am running, which I'm the president, is LASCA, which has about 8 teams. And this league that we are in is basically promoting cricket, not only for people with skills, but for anybody who wants to learn cricket or who has played and had been, who's older, or anybody, a senior citizen, come and play. Have fun on the field, play cricket, enjoy cricket. That is what our LASCA Cricket League is all about. And you're mentioning about Ted Hayes. His team is part of our league. And in fact, we played him last week. And I'm going to be playing him again Sunday. And Navin, I'm inviting you to come and play with him. And that whole organization is run by him, and there's a lady called Katie Huber. These 2 people are running that show, and most of the team, the members in that team, represent the Latino community. And believe it or not, you guys would be surprised how good they play. But above all, their sportsmanship is much, much better than some of our local Desi people.
No, Mahmood, all of that is great. Everything that you said is very, very pertinent. But unfortunately, if you want to take cricket in the U.S. to the highest level, and again, I've had 2 stints in at least my professional career facing top-level cricket, and one at the broadcaster level, while, like I said, with Kelly Broadcasting, in fact, in the 99 World Cup, that's when I got an opportunity to play with the kids at Ted Hayes' organization. Okay. But I'm also saying, even from being with the IPL, I think what is important in the U.S. and is lacking very, very, very seriously is infrastructure. You can't have and expect to have world-class games being played in that country when you don't have world-class infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Although it's not incapable of having it, it's just somebody's not making that investment.
Absolutely, you got that right. But again, we have to promote at some level. We are trying our best, and now we have a new president with SCCA, Mr. Masood Zaidi, who has good vision to carry out the jobs, and hopefully, first of all, he will unite Southern California and Northern California, and then reunite the rest of the country. Florida being one of the biggest states for cricket.
Navin, sorry to butt in there,
no
but
problem.
I'd only like to add one thing out here.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry I'm butting in.
No problem, please.
If you go back, 2 points that I'd like to make very quickly. You go back to the 1960s, when Sri Lanka were the minnows. No one wanted to play 5-day cricket with them. In fact, I remember the Indian side would go to Colombo, they would play a 4-day match because they felt that the match would end in 3 days. And look at where Sri Lanka has come up today.
Oh,
People
fantastic.
are scared to play against the likes of the Sangakkara, the Jayawardhanes and the Dilshans, and the Lasat Malingas and the Mutaya Muralidharan. That's point number one. Point number two, Anil made that important point about infrastructure. I'm going back to what happened in England, and Winston Churchill said that the Battle of Britain was won on the playfield of Hero and Hatton. It is club cricket, grammar school cricket. I stay at a place which is just 200 meters away from the historic Shivaji Park Gymkhana, where the cricket is played on the worst infrastructure, I can tell you.
Right.
Anil has seen so much cricket in India, and he'll agree that in India, cricket is because of quantity. It's not quality, I can assure you.
Right.
It's quantity, basically, and from where the quality really comes up. So in the United States of America, which is a very organized country, I feel that, number one, besides putting the blame on the United States themselves, Anil, I think Indians, Sri Lankans, Pakistan, Australia must send regular teams to the United States.
Bilkul.
Look at the English football sides. They go so often to Japan, to Korea, to the Philippines to play friendly matches. When you see icons coming there, when the Americans, the Tendulkars and the Dhonis going out there to play, the Harbachans, the Zahir Khans, they will be inspired to play. Are the Indian big cricketers wanting to go to America to play?
Exactly.
Answer is no, because they will not get the money in those 15 days that they go there.
Right.
Simple.